I did want to ask you guys. You guys talked a lot about European football or soccer, as we call it in America. Um, if there was one thing about European football that you guys could bring to the NBA, what would it be? One rule. It could be relegation. It could be
I
no
was
salary cap, no
I
draft.
was more I was more inclining what the NBA could bring to the European game. For me
Okay.
personally, like I think the concept of All Star is absolutely brilliant. I
Mm.
feel like if there was an All Star soccer team where you get the best of all the European team, the best European players in one
Yeah,
game together, compete against each other, I think that's pretty amazing. The Players Association, where a player is in charge of the of a group of players who makes decisions on behalf of the players. I think that's a brilliant thing that their football could look at
The
doing.
salary cap. The salary cap is probably the best thing that could happen to European sports, because there is
Right.
such a disparity between the top levels and the rest of the football as a whole, that
yeah.
a team can be promoted into the top division and they'll never have a chance of winning it, because they can't afford to get anywhere close to the salary that the big teams can offer.
Right.
Salary cap is an equalizer for all of that. I think that's probably the one thing that football as a whole needs. But it would, I can't see it ever happening, to be honest, but it'd be brilliant. Yeah, I reckon there probably is more that you could apply to in basketball, really.
Yeah,
I've got
personally think there's a lot of things that we could take from them.
Yeah, I've got one that maybe would be cool to see in the NBA. And I know they've kind of been talking about doing it, some kind of like other tournament, a mid-season tournament. Obviously, they've done the play-in tournament now, which was very successful in the bubble. That's sort of an interesting wrinkle. That's kind of, in a way, copying sort of the football playoffs in like the football league. It's a similar kind of idea. But I just think it'd be difficult. The difficulty in the NBA is, who cares about winning the David Stern Cup or whatever it's called? You're going to want to win the NBA championship.
Explain to Americans who don't follow soccer why, like, what's the big deal about the FA Cup? You know, for British fans, why would NBA fans want to care about that?
It's really difficult. And sorry, Vincent, I know you're the football diehard amongst us, but I'm going to jump in on this one. The difficulty you've got is that the prestige that comes with winning the FA Cup, it's almost entirely historical. Like, if you were to introduce a new cup now, it wouldn't mean anything. Like, but the FA Cup is like, it's historic. It's such a prestigious award because of the history behind it. I don't think you can replicate that by just introducing a new competition. It wouldn't have anywhere near the kind of esteem that the FA Cup does. Vinny, I don't know what you were going to say.
I think what with soccer, what's more important for it is winning trophies. Like, you want to go out and say like, we've won a trophy. Like, you can say like, we won at least something. We won a trophy. So with soccer, we have it's called the League Cup. You got the FA Cup, and then the title, and then you got the Champions League. Those are like 4 trophies you could win potentially as a team. What NBA could maybe, I think we've touched on it before in the pod, Jared said it before, about having a little thing. But if they were to make it a selling point where it could, let's say if you win this, you get a couple of picks. You could have a couple of picks potentially. Or if you win that cup, it would make these players more excited to win it, because you know how they've made the All-Star game more exciting now. Like, it's become more competitive now, the All-Star, because a couple of years it started not being as fun anymore. The players weren't taking it serious anymore, but now it's become competitive again. You got your team LeBron, your team Giannis, and it's become like they want to win that the game. It's become more of that. So with soccer, what's exciting for us winning the FA Cup as a team, yes, you want to win the league, but the lower teams, they'll go for that more because they know they've got an opportunity maybe to win that. They know they might not have the chance to win the league. So like NBA, some teams like the Kings, no offense to any Kings fans out there, but they know they've got no chance of winning the chip. But if they know that they could win a cup, this cup could get them a couple of picks, or potentially like something nice for them for their fans to have a little tour. It's a massive selling point, and that's what the FA Cup can give to lower side teams. But even the big teams still want to win it as well. Even the big teams still want to win the FA Cup. But the lower side teams, they will put all their eggs in baskets to get that tournament, so then their fans can go out, have a nice parade outside. Obviously, before lockdown and COVID, everyone, you'd get thousands. Even the local team where we live, it's like a little local team winning the trophy is a big deal when the streets will be covered. So that's the selling point, and maybe the NBA could look at maybe saying, look, let's bring on a tournament mid-season for players to compete for it, but they have to make sure the big players like the LeBrons, the ADs, the Giannis's get excited to win that tournament as well.
And I think just further to what Theo was saying about the history of the FA Cup, it's not just necessarily winning it. The third round of the FA Cup takes place every January. And there's been, throughout football history, there's been some incredible upsets in that round, like, the champions of England, the best team in England, getting beat by, a part-time team almost. And it's similar to, I guess, in a way, maybe March Madness, like a lower seed having an incredible run through the tournament and getting all the way to the Elite Eight or the Final Four or whatever. There's been some incredible moments, and them games where there is that big upset generates so much income for the part-time teams, for the semi-professional teams. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if this is still the case, but I'm pretty sure anyone can enter the FA Cup. If you've got a football team, you can enter the FA Cup. Yeah. Now, obviously, as a part-time team, you're going to have to go through so many preliminary rounds that it's unlikely you're ever going to beat Chelsea in the third round or Manchester City or whatever. But it's just that moment of the third round is like everyone looks forward to that if you're a football fan in the UK, as a potential upsets could be on the cards.
And we all know that what's it called? Silver, he listens to New Generation Media, so we know that he's going to be on this completely, and he's going to be thinking about this. Hi there.
Yeah. And one of the things that's funny, in terms of like that in-season tournament, I'll say this: I thought the Orlando bubble was going to be way more of a disaster than it was. It was actually great. I just figured there'd be a lot more COVID cases. I was worried that we'd have stars possibly, not playing in big playoff games, and thankfully we didn't get that. I think we ended up getting a very legitimate playoffs and champion. But before that, when it was very uncertain what it was going to be, my suggestion was I thought that they should do away with the NBA playoffs and have whatever the championship would be for the bubble be the inaugural David Stern tournament, and then bring that into the regular season for successive seasons. Obviously, I'm glad they didn't do that because we ended up getting a really great playoffs and a great championship. But I feel like if there was a way to do that, it may have to be something that's maybe first introduced in the postseason. Maybe you do it with the lottery teams, or maybe you do it with something like that. And then once you kind of build that tradition that Theo was suggesting, maybe at that point then it could become something that's in season and people clamor for. One last thing I did want to talk about in terms of the UK NBA kind of relationship is, Adam Silver recently said that, before when it came to expansion, he said that's not something they were thinking about. Now he's saying, well, I'm not saying we're not thinking about it. So it seems like he's more open to it. And of course, whenever we talk about expansion, a team being in the UK is something that does get brought up. I think right now, Seattle and Las Vegas seem to have more preference, but NBA has talked for a long time about having a team in the UK. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it would work, and do you think that there are fans in the UK that would really embrace having an NBA team?
Well, I'm just going to come straight in and say that myself and Theo were part of a basketball team in a league, the BBBs. We were absolutely lethal. If the NBA wants a representative from the northwest of England, we are ready. Sign us up. We could get all our guys in. Vinny could be the coach / part-time player, whatever he fancies. It depends how he's recovering from his what's going down at the moment for him. Yeah, we're ready. Give us a shout. We're here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know how that would even work. I really don't even know how the logistics of it would work. I am all about trying to incorporate the league to England because I think it's a massive selling point. And I think it's a massive growing market for a lot of people. I personally think it's one of those situations where it'd be very, very hard for the logistics, but it'd be better if there was. They're doing it now already, where teams get to play in England and opportunities where and I think if that was more regularly, where a couple of games and throughout the season could be in England. It'd be a great idea. But I think the logistics of having a team here based in England but playing for the NBA might be very difficult because we've already got our own league in this country.
Right.
It is a decent league. Obviously, they're doing their thing. Some players have come from the NBA to the English league. So we've got our own league, but it's just gonna be. I think the logistics of having an NBA team based here but play in the league as well might be a bit difficult. I don't know.
I think it'd be amazing, and from a practical standpoint, I mean, how long does it take to fly from, I don't know, like Philadelphia to LA? Like 5 hours, 6 hours, something like that.
I think about 4 or 5 hours. Yeah.
Okay, so you could fly from England to the East Coast that's like a 5-hour flight. So it's not logistically it's not impossible, but obviously if you go into the Western Conference would just foul everything up because then you start looking at like 11, 12-hour flights they'd have to have really long, lengthy road trips. To be honest, it would probably be the biggest issue would really probably be the home games, wouldn't it? Flying teams over you'd probably have to do it in series, 2 or 3 game series. Probably not unless you fly a couple of teams over and then they play games while they're over here anyway, and then just do like a mini bubble thing. That could work. Oh, Adam Silver, hit me up. Yeah. No, I'm here for it. I'm down for it. There's a lot of talent over here.
Yeah,
Jared mentioned it quite readily. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've always kind of thought about how they would do it. I feel like you probably have to. I think that the homestand would have to be very long. I think for the UK team, I think they would have to probably go on pretty long road trips to make it work. I agree. Definitely, you have to do series. I think everybody in your division, I think when they come over, they should play their 2 games that they have to play, and that would be their only trip. I'm so against expansion because I just know that it kind of technically waters down the league, just from a historical standpoint. But I've always been intrigued about how they would do the UK thing. I'd want to see it done. Like, they talked about it with the NFL, we talked about the NBA. It's like, is it going to be very difficult? Yes, but like, it's just for the marvel of it. I want to see if they can make it work. They made Canada work. At least in one of the cities they tried, they made it work, and I want to see if they are able to do that for the UK.
I was going to say, EJ, before you asked the question about what would I've actually thought of something. Sorry, as you were saying that, I've thought about something. What would I bring maybe to the NBA?
Yeah.
I think what the English League football has is a thing called relegation.
Yes.
So a team who, if they're not underperforming, they get relegated from the division. They become the second.
Theo knows all about that one, don't you think?
Theo's home team as well. They've been struggling for quite a long
which
time.
Which team does Theo root for? I've heard about this team.
They're called the Bolton Wanderers.
Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah, that's.
Have you ever heard of him?
That's. Are they even in the EPL anymore? Or are
exactly.
They got relegated recently.
Exactly.
They got 3 times, mate. 3 times.
They've got relegated
in the 4th tier of English football.
So if there was an opportunity, I don't know, because I don't really get why they don't have it for the NBA, because maybe I don't know the logistics of it, but it's like you're miles bigger of a country than us. England is a little tiny country, so if every single town had their own team, I don't see why not they could have a massive league.
I mean, they have the G League. Yeah, they have the G League. They could have it where if you're it would prevent tanking. There'd be no more tanking.
That's what I mean.
And then the bottom team would go to the G League, and the G League champion would be brought into the NBA.
I guess
the problem is that the owners would never want that, because then
the owner, and that's the difference as well, because you guys
now your team's done.
Yeah, your owners, the owners of the NBA really take charge of everything. They make the decisions. Like Adam Silver may be the commissioner, but the owners are the ones who are in charge.
Yeah.
But in the sense of football, the owners are in charge of their team, but the FA is called the Football Association, or FIFA, the board. They're the ones who are in charge of these teams. Like, you are part of their organization, so you choose how you want. You may own your team, but you follow our rules. But maybe in NBA it's a bit different. The owners have their own they dictate what happens. Adam Silver is more like works for them.
Yeah, in many ways, I feel like the NBA is bigger than FIBA, whereas in the UK or European sports or European soccer, the individual leagues aren't necessarily bigger than FIFA, obviously. So that's like, I think that what kind of stops that.
That's
kind
a
of
good way to look at it. Yeah.
I think part of the problem with relegation as well, I think, would probably be the disparity between the standard of basketball in the G League and probably the NBA. I reckon even the Timberwolves would probably beat any team in the G League over it, probably in a 4-game series realistically, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So there'd be a little bit of work to do around that as well, I think.